Steve, what is your biggest challenge right now? I'm just in this current point in time, and then I'd love to find out about what the last 6 months were like, because what a very challenging year, but also, a lot of incredible opportunities. But right now, what is your biggest challenge with the current state of things, and then facing what could be a long recession and potentially even more people on the streets? What's on your mind right now?
Yeah, so you can't describe what's on my mind now without looking back over the last 6 months and actually over the last 5 years. So if we take and it's almost a period of 5 years potentially with us at the start of the next 5 year period. If we look back over the last 5 years, we saw rough sleeping in England rising year on year. And we were very clear the solutions were around funding for accommodation and funding for support. The work that our outreach teams do provides advice and support and provides a route through. The work that our hostel workers, so we provide accommodation in our hostels and in longer term accommodation. And we also provide routes through to that accommodation, homes for people. But some of it needs support as well. And so over the last 5 years, we've seen an increase. We've had austerity, we've had recession, we've had tough times, particularly for local authorities, and then coming through that for our clients as well. And we saw year-on-year rises in homelessness and rough sleeping, in London with one year exception, but year-on-year rises. In the last year alone, we saw a 22% increase in rough sleeping.
Wow.
Then we had the pandemic, so the last 6 months, and the reason that it's important to frame that, so we had 5 years rises year on year. Then we had the pandemic, and we had the Everyone In initiative that you may have heard of. So this was effectively a response to a public health emergency that saw government provide the funding to local authorities that was needed, bringing homeless charities like ours, bringing local authorities together, bringing public health together to actually just get everyone in. And Brian, you look too young, but there was a time when EasyJet, the budget airlines, used to have a policy of you couldn't book your seat. You got your ticket, you turned up, they opened the doors, and then everybody rushed in and just dived for the seat that you could find. Well, Everyone In was a little bit like that. It was a swoop everybody up, get them into safety, do the assessments, work out what their long-term solutions are. A little bit chaotic first, but what it proved was that local authorities, housing organisations, homeless charities like ours, public health, statutory authorities, all working together could make a huge difference. And there was a huge volunteer effort as well. So we had GPs who were coming off their general practitioners, doctors, nurses coming off their shifts and then coming and volunteering in some of the hotels that we were running. During the height of the pandemic, we were managing 15 hotels. So effectively what Everyone In did was move everybody off the streets, move them out of communal shelters into self-contained accommodation in hotels, bed and breakfast and the like, where we could provide the support that was needed, the assessment, what we called triage. So it was working with the local authority on what the housing options are, working with GPs on what their health needs might be, and then working through, so what does that mean in terms of accommodation and support? And it was an absolute success. We are clear, anybody who's worked on the programme is clear that it saved lives.